What up, everybody? I hope you're having a good day today. It's now December 1st. We got 1 month left. Why is my hat being blurry here with this damn camera blur? Anyways, welcome to the Super Magic Show. This is what episode is 9? Episode 9. We have a hell of a show for you today, folks. We're going to be talking about Gohan and Dragon Ball Daima, discussing what I think is the best Dragon Ball Daima episode so far, episode 8. It was starting to drag. A bit, but things are looking up. And I did a poll right now in the chat, and it looks like I asked, is episode 8 the best episode of Daima? And I got 96% of people saying yes. It gave us a good mix of combat and lore. So we're going to be talking about that today, as well as the impact of Dragon Ball Daima and how powerful this culture has meant to us. So very excited to bring it to you guys today. Hello in the chat. And quick programming note. We're going to go over a few things today. Next week here on the Super Magic Show, episode 10, I'll be joined by Nassim Benelcour, the new voice of Piccolo in Daima. This kid is 21 years old. 21. And he got to play Kid Piccolo and Daima Piccolo Mini. What a career break for a 21-year-old to get into Dragon Ball. Like, I know people that have been wanting to do Dragon Ball voices for decades, and this guy made it. So I'm going to be talking all about his quest, his journey to becoming Piccolo, and it's going to be a fun time. I want to give y'all a quick update about Nadolny. Stephanie is extremely busy. This Daima shit, she's been doing signings every weekend. I think she was at a mall today. She's everywhere. So I'm still going to try and bring her on. Worst case scenario, I bring her on at the end of Daima, near the end. That way we can tell the entire sort of comeback story of Nadolny. I tried to bring her on sooner, but I don't know how busy she's going to be. So we're going to work things out and see how everything goes. But let me go ahead and bring in my guest, all right, from SS Jutsu. I've done podcasts with him. I actually did a serious non-anime podcast with him in 2020 when certain real events took place. And that was a really good discussion. That's over on my Realm of Geekdom channel. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that channel because I don't really know yet. But let me bring him on from SS Jutsu. Adonis, what's up, man?
What's going down? What's up?
How are you?
Let's go. I'm excellent, man. We talking about Dragon Ball, bro. You already know. I'm hype. I'm here. I'm awake.
Always. Yeah, when I was putting together the Super Magic Show, I had a list of people I wanted to bring on, and you were on that list because I think you're a very accomplished streamer. I think you bring a lot of flavor to everything. It's funny because I wanted to also bring Opie on, and I hit him up recently because I know Opie. When's the last time you talked to Opie?
Oh man, it had to be at least a couple of years. It's been a couple of years for sure.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a couple of years, bro. Yeah,
it's been a few months for me. But what happened was I reached out to him and I go, bro, why aren't you uploading? You said that when Daima starts, you're going to start making videos.
Yeah.
He says that his laptop broke. In fact, let me see if I can read. Yeah, let me see if I can read the text real quick. It says, I dropped my laptop and broke it, so I bought a new one, a MacBook, $2,500 expense.
Okay.
Like, damn, that sucks. But I mean, bro, let's get on it, especially now that Daima.
Come on, man.
Episode 8. So you're caught up, right?
Yeah, come on, bro. Yes.
I have a feeling. Actually, you are because I saw your reaction. Duh. Let me actually real quick show everybody what's going on. Give me 1 second. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm not ready yet. Hold on. Where we share? I'm trying to do the little share screen thing, so I can show people what's going on here. Is it this one? Yeah. Okay. So if you look at my screen right here, Nassim Benelcour, he's the voice for Piccolo. He'll be here. Yeah, he'll be here next week, bro. Piccolo Mini and Daima. This is the SS Jutsu channel. So everybody check out his channel. He does reactions. He does interviews. We did a podcast together. It's his podcast, but he brings in different people. The Built by Anime podcast. And we did a discussion basically about like the impact that anime and manga, the Japanese culture, has had in our lives and has inspired us. And I want to talk a little bit about that here today with you. I should be the guy with the most views, but Jamie beat me because when I lost all the weight, got bigger. So she's good, bro. She's way hotter than I am, bro. I hate to admit, but that's thumbnail candy, bro.
Yeah.
Thumbnail candy. Yeah, but check out SS Jutsu. You were saying before we went live that you're on break. We're gonna bring it back.
Yeah. So people that don't know, I had a baby. So she's 6 months, like 6.5 months, and bringing her in and like trying to get things sorted with life and stuff has just been a challenge. So I didn't want to continue and it be very inconsistent. So I was like, look, I'm going to start at the top of the year, just kind of get everything sorted so we can start, getting things reorganized. Because as you know, scheduling guests is not hey, what are you doing next week? These are like weeks, months in advance sometimes, depending on your guest. So, it's just one of those things that, was unforeseen. And like, I guess my ego is more like, oh yeah, I'm just going to slot her into my life. Didn't work that way. It was kind of the opposite. So definitely excited about bringing that back and doing more content there. Cause I really think that for anime fans that may want like personal development or even like just getting stories from other people outside of anime that are, actors, athletes, whatever, that love anime, that grew up on anime, I think it'd be really dope for you guys to check that out. So yeah.
No, for sure. And I know people in the NFL, I know people in WWE who like athletes, like professional athletes who love anime because they're relatively either around our age or younger. And
Correct.
So they watch the same shit we watch. And so the era of the jock and the nerd being two separate entities is over.
Facts.
The jocks are nerds now. That's
Facts.
just the way it is. That's just the way it is. So I wanted to also bring up something that I wanted to clarify real quick before we get into the episode, but I do want to talk to you about the episode. And we do have a super chat we're going to get to in just a minute. Of course, guys, super chat questions are priority. Send them in and we'll talk to y'all about it. We're going to talk about Gohan. So I put this post on X, on Twitter, and I talked about how Super Saiyan 2 Goku from episode 8 of Daima, I said probably, but he is a lot stronger than he was in the Buu saga because he has been training nonstop since the Buu saga. So, because there were people that were saying, the Tamagami went down too easy, and that's not what it is. That is not what happened. Watch the episode again. Tamagami was strong. It's just that Goku is a beast, and he's been training. We saw in episode 1, him and Vegeta, after they have their little lunch, they go and they spar. That's what they do. So the entire thing I was talking about here is that it makes sense that Tamagami 3 is stronger than Dabura. But, and this is somewhat of a teaser for later, I don't want to call it a leak because it's not. It's kind of obvious, but I went on to say that if Dabura had the third eye, he would not only have wrecked Tamagami, but also Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Majin Buu. So the third eye is the artifact that Goma is trying to find in the demon realm. Yeah, and it was lost during the era of Abuda. I don't want to go into what happens in Daima, but I will tell you that third eye gives you an incredible power boost because the third eye, okay, so a long time ago, well, not maybe 2.5 months ago, I said that Dragon Ball Daima is not just GT 2.0. It's borrowing from Dragon Ball Z, GT, Heroes, Super. So in Dragon Ball Heroes, you had the Time Breaker mask. And I don't know how many people in the chat remember this, but when you get the Time Breaker mask, like Time Breaker Bardock, it boosts your power. Like Super Saiyan Bardock was like God tier when he had the mask. So the third eye is kind of like Toriyama taking that idea and saying, okay, whoever gets the third eye in Daima is going to have this crazy power. And so if Dabura had it, Buu would not have done shit to him, neither would have Goku. I just wanted to make that clear that no, Dabura on his own is not that strong, even without the Babidi boost, but with the third eye, different story. So what'd you think about episode 8, man?
Episode 8 was amazing. Episode 8 was awesome. I think
everything you could ever want from an anime right there.
Bro, it was so good. I I've been saying this since Daima started. Is it feels like we're getting back to Dragon Ball. It feels like we're getting like this really cool adventure story. The scaling has kind of become a little bit more more reasonable instead of like the crazy we're gonna defeat a universe. Like I feel like it's kind of come down a little bit. And I feel like it's just more interesting. Even the choreography like is awesome. The choreography is incredible. And it kind of shows,
Sheeta.
especially this episode specifically, was the creativity and almost like the fighting genius that Goku actually has, right? Like, so it wasn't just reliant on crazy speed feats or ridiculous power in terms of like ki blast. He was really showing this guy like, look, I got hands. I'm skilled with it. And I just thought it was awesome. It was probably one of my favorite episodes that I've seen in Dragon Ball in years. Like even going back into stuff inside of Super that I really, really enjoyed. And then obviously the lore dump that we got on top of just the fight sequence that we got was, again, I'm so excited about the lore stuff that we're getting in Dragon Ball Daima more than anything else. I just think it's really cool that we're still getting new things to kind of foundationally increase the value of the series. It's super. Oh, that episode was fire, bro.
I love how you had the badass fight at the beginning, and then halfway through the episode, you had the cup and balls magic thing. That was cool. But then when we cut to Arinsu, now things are starting to take shape. Now things are, because we see what I talked about in July. I'm a fraud, though, Adonis. I'm a fraud. Where I said that she secretly is plotting against Goma, and we saw the introduction of Marva, and she's going to create a new Majin Buu. Now, I'm not going to go into leaks in this stream. I already said I wasn't going to do that because now everybody wants to be leaked. I will tell you this, though. This new Majin Buu is not the final boss of Daima. There's somebody else. I wanted to real quick share this because I put it on X again. This is on 9/14, 2 months ago, on the leak video that I did that caught some shit with some people. Here is Grand Witch Marva. There's the date, 9/14/2014.
I do got receipts. What do you got receipts?
Aren't I the luckiest guesser ever, bro? Like it can't be that I have real sources.
You know what's crazy, bro?
It can't be that I talk to real motherfuckers.
The crazy part to me, man, is that people still doubting it. Like that's the crazy part. I'm like, yo, this dude's been on this for a while now, right? Like he's had resources and receipts for years now. It's so funny. That's hilarious.
Shit. Now, I wanted to talk to you real quick because the thing about this fight is, okay, so the fight started with the base form and the weapons, and I loved it because we got to see the Thor shit. It's fucking Thor Iron Man, bro. They combined them. I got the Infinity fucking gauntlet shirt on. So, and then Goku's got the Nioi bow, the power pole. One of the things I loved about it is, and I was wondering if they were going to do this, when Goku went Super Saiyan, we're going to get to the part right here.
That was beautiful, by the way. Oh, so sick.
Sheeta, bro. He's never gonna. That man ain't never gonna disappoint. Bro. So when he went Super Saiyan, he powered up the Nioi bow to where he was able to break the hammer in half.
Bro, that was crazy. I was like, he did not do that with that. I was like, that's wild.
I didn't know he could do something. I was thinking, like, can he actually? Because we've never seen Super Saiyan Goku with the Nioi bow, with the power bow. We've never seen both. So seeing that was like, what the fuck? And then he snapped it in half, and then he puts the fucking pole away. He's like, all right, let's go hand to hand. What a fucking alpha episode this was, bro.
That was crazy, bro. I loved it when he just rode the hammer back. Like, again, showing his ingenuity in fighting. Like, he was like, look, he's gonna bring this hammer back, so I'm just gonna jump on the hammer. Like, so it's so clever. Like, I just thought it was an awesome choreographed fight. But yeah, when he sliced the hammer handle with the Myoibo, I was like, this is sick. And that was crazy.
And the thing is, like, I had been hearing for a year that they're gonna have weapon fights, and I'm like, we need a little bit more of that in Dragon Ball, because it actually makes a lot of sense. Goku, the only reason as to why Goku went to go get the power pole and bring it with him to the demon realm is because his limbs are much shorter and
Correct.
the pole can extend for range. It's
Yeah.
logical, bro. And
Yeah.
then here it's like, oh, let's just go hand to hand. But I
Yeah.
mean, I'm putting the I have to be careful because I don't want to get copyrighted here. But this whole sequence right here, bro, he goes for a sweep, goes for
So
a blast, blocked. Look, oh my god! And Tamagami, look, I hate when Dragon Ball fan. Oh, Tamagami's weak. He lost to Goku, but you have to remember he's weak compared to Beerus or Whis or
Right.
God Goku.
Right.
But per the demon realm power scaling, no one's been able to beat this fucking guy.
Yeah, I think on top of that too, guys, I think the other side of it is Goku didn't kill this man. Like just think about what happened. He got hit with a crazy Kamehameha, dude threw it off him. And then on top of that, he was like, all right, he was like, look, he was like, you know what? We're not gonna keep doing this. You're gonna beat me. Here's like, he knew that he was going to win, but the attack that he gave him didn't finish him off. Like, so that should tell you right there that he is definitely powerful. He just was like, look, I don't want to keep this going. Like, I know where this is going. Let's just stop it here. Let's do this final test. I thought that was awesome.
I love it because it was martial arts. Like, you know what? You beat me fair and square. You deserve the Dragon Ball. Fuck, man. Like, and I like that because the Tamagamis, they're not like, not everybody in Dragon Ball Daima is evil. Obviously, Arinsu is fucking evil and Goma is, but this guy, I mean, he's just got a job to do. Protect the Dragon Ball. Right. This camera angle, Goku's doing everything from ranged attacks, like sick. Everything you could think of, bro. And then look at this. Look at this.
Oh my
okay,
God.
That sequence. I talked about it in my video last night. My breakdown.
So crazy.
It's Nakatsuru with Shida. So the camera panning around Goku is like in the Path to Power movie when the camera panned around him. Anytime you see the camera going around someone, it's Nakatsuru, bro. He loves to do that shit. It's one of his signature moves.
It looks so sick.
It's beautiful, bro. And then, as you said, the Kamehameha came, and then he went Super Saiyan 2, and then he elbowed him, and then that was the end of that, bro.
Oh, so cold.
I submit. Yeah. I just wanted to kind of go into that because, that was such a good fight, bro. I had a good time with it.
That sequence was awesome. I think also, like, I've been saying this, I love the animation quality and the illustration quality in Daima. Like, it's been so good. And I think a lot of people were obviously rightfully upset when Super came back and it didn't look the way that people were expecting it to look. So for Daima to come out of the gate swinging quality wise was just awesome. So I've been really enjoying the visual. And it was so funny because when I was watching the Tamagami when he first started fighting, I was like, he reminded me of Topo a little bit. Like, I don't know if it was just because he's so top heavy, but even like his personality kind of had a similar feel to Topo. Not as like pretentious about. Yeah, for sure. Like very like superhero-ish, but not like full Topo. But it definitely had a very similar vibe to it to me. But yeah, so good.
And I love how he's like, are you trying to challenge me? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's the spirit of the martial arts, bro.
Yeah, it's so good.
The last time that you and I talked on your channel, and by the way, y'all, I see the super chats. I'm going to get to them in just a minute. It was before Toriyama had passed away. And where the fuck did I put it? I picked up this. I'm very happy to have this. I have this Toriyama Toribot with the green tracksuit and the cape. And I have this by my desk. So anytime that I feel lazy and I don't want to work, I think about this man because earlier today I saw a comment on Twitter that almost triggered me. Thankfully, I've been able to control myself. Somebody called Toriyama lazy, and I hate when people say that shit because, okay, for the past 20 years, Toriyama hasn't done much because he's been retired because he's fucking wealthy. He doesn't have to work. But when he was working from 1979 to 2000, from 1979 to 1995, slump into Dragon Ball, this man took one vacation and made a new chapter every single week. It's been 9 months since we've had a super chapter. 9 months. Meanwhile, Toriyama was cranking them out week after week after week. And Oda's another guy who another guy who works his ass off. Like, these guys are anything but lazy. How many people can say that they've worked for that many years and taking one vacation.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. And look, this is no disrespect to fans, but I think sometimes fans' perspective is a little skewed. It's more expectation of what they feel they should get. And a lot of times it's from a perspective of them never creating something themselves, to not understand like how much work goes into these things. Like, yeah, well, he isn't doing X, Y, and Z. Like you said, he doesn't have to. He's been retired. Like, who do you know worked for X amount of years, retires, and then decides, you know what? Let me go and do some more work because I just feel I feel like I have a new creative bug, or I feel like you know what I'm saying? Like, who goes back to work after they've retired? So I don't.
A lot of manga guys,
bro. I feel like a lot of times it's just a skewed perspective. But you know, that's to be fair, I think a lot of it's just the era of entitlement that we live in, where people just feel like we deserve certain things. It's like, oh, well, you need to get this out. It's like, it's easy for a consumer to say that. You know, it's really easy for someone that's just consuming content to be upset that they're not getting the content that they want from a person. I get that. But at the same time, it's like, you talk to your grandparent and be like, hey, so when you going back to work? Like, that sounds crazy. That sounds wild.
like unfortunately, bro, the idea that we as humans should have to work until we die is bullshit. If we get a break in life to where we can make a lot of money, like Toriyama, he worked his ass off 20s, 30s, and early 40s to the point where he doesn't have to work a single day for the rest of his life. He was already a millionaire before Dragon Ball, and he's still doing art for Dragon Quest, Blue Dragon, Chrono Trigger, and then he would go on to do, as you spoke of, extra stuff here and there, and then he came back for Super to do manuscripts. Now with Daima, he's doing more. Like, he doesn't have to do any of that shit, but he did it. So when he passed away, I haven't talked to you about this. What was your reaction? Because I know that, like, bro, Dragon Ball has been a big part of your fandom as an anime fan.
That day was rough.
Weird.
So me and my partner, I think she was like maybe 7 months at the time. We had a hospital appointment with one of the doctors before she was, about to deliver. So we had just gotten to the hospital, and I'm parallel parking on the street, and I get a notification that Toriyama died. And I just sat there. She's like, "You okay?" And I was like,
"What was the notification from? Like a news site?"
I think it was a notification from like a news site or something like that. Or off of Twitter. It might have been off of Twitter.
You should have said Geekdom 101 video, but that's all right.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it was Twitter, and it might have been a notification from yours, but I just remember seeing it, and I was like, I thought it was fake. I was like, what? So then I check it, and I was just like, I'm going through different sources. I'm trying to make sure I'm not getting hit with the okie doke. And then she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Toriyama just died." And guys, my partner is not a huge anime fan like that. She didn't know who the hell that was. She's like, "Who's that?" I was like, "The creator of Dragon Ball." But she knows how much I love Dragon Ball. And she was like, "Oh my God." She's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I don't know if I'm okay." And we're walking into the hospital, and I start getting really emotional. And then we end up we were waiting to go in, and I just sat down at the table and I just start crying. Like I was really taken aback by the whole situation, because I didn't really know how I don't know why I was feeling this way, but then I also at the same time know why I was feeling that way. And it was one of those things where you have a series or a character that you grew up on, no matter if it's anime or whatever, but something that is affected you, especially in your early years of development, that you attach yourself to. I know a lot of people felt that type of way with Princess Leia or any other characters in history.
Another one that hit me hard, bro.
That, they grew up with. So it was just like, man, I grew up watching this guy's stuff. Like, he got me through some crazy times, and it just felt like I lost a family member, even though I've never met this man a day in my life. But it felt like I knew him through his work. You know what I mean? So it was super challenging for sure. But man, it was so crazy, bro. Oh, it was so good.
It was weird for me because it didn't I reported on it, but it didn't hit me till the next morning. Because like I had a buddy of mine who I haven't seen in years come visit me that night. And he's also a Dragon Ball fan. So we spent the whole night in the living room just talking about Toriyama. But like it didn't, like I didn't get emotional right away. I guess you know how sometimes like it doesn't hit. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like it hasn't hit you yet. And then the next morning when I woke up, it hit me, bro. It really did. And then every time I saw a tribute from like another country or something, it was devastating, bro. It was devastating. And the thing about Toriyama and me specifically is I discovered him before Dragon Ball because of Dragon Quest. Because I played Dragon Warrior on Nintendo. That was my introduction to Toriyama, not even knowing who he was. Right. So the dude has introduced the dude has been a very important part of my life. And the reality is none of this that I have, this home, like this computer I'm on, Dragon Ball paid for all that, bro. Because when I first started doing YouTube, I didn't have this shit. I had an older setup. I was in an apartment, you know. Yeah. So it's like a thing where you sit there and it's like, damn, like this dude like legit changed my life. I would have never gone to Japan if it wasn't for Toriyama.
Bro, that it's so crazy too, because like, you know, knowing when I was a kid, well, not knowing, like we were certain animes that we were watching, we didn't know they were anime. We just thought it was a cartoon. We didn't really know what the hell we were watching. And, you know, to know that this guy created a character that I've been rocking with since the 90s. You know what I mean? Like it was just an interesting thing because it almost felt like, and look, this is definitely like, it could be taken as an exaggeration, but for me, like the characters that a person creates are an extension of this person. So when I see that, it's like, damn, like my favorite character is now dead is what it feels like. Right. It was like, damn. And I know people are like, oh, well, they'll continue it. And it's like, I get that, but it's a symbolic thing to me. It's like he's not gonna be the same because it's not the guy that created it that is continuing this thing. And I knew it was an inevitability. Like that's always going to be a thing, right? We haven't figured out how to live forever. So there's always going to be a point at which a creator of something that we love is no longer here. So it was just one of those things to me that I didn't really expect. I knew it was inevitable. Like, you know, we know that he's an older guy. Some of our favorites.
Nozawa, bro. Nozawa's on 90, so she doesn't have much time left, you know?
Bro, and that's the thing, man. I'm like, it just knowing these things, it's like, damn, like, you have to be just excited that you still get to experience these things. And I think that's one of the other things as a fan that sometimes we get a little bit too precious, a little bit too precious when things don't turn out the way that we want them to all the time. So yeah, it was a tough one for sure.
Yeah, and the thing is, I have a video that I made that's not out yet. It's finished, but it's not out yet, and it's called Dragon Ball After Toriyama. And in the video, one of the things I discuss is, can Dragon Ball continue without Toriyama? And here's the thing, it will. Yeah. But and I was very honest in the video. As a storyteller, I don't think Toriyama now, like in this era, was ever in his prime like he was in the late 80s, early 90s. I say that with respect. Yeah. But the one thing that Toriyama always has had that George Lucas also has, they're very similar, is that even though they're best stories they wrote in their youth, Toriyama is a very creative guy when it comes to world building. And nothing has been definitive proof of that than Daima. Look at all the shit in Daima. So like, you could have Toyotaro, you could have Akio, you could have whoever you want come in and write Dragon Ball, but are they really going to have that creativity and that crazy, like the shit that Toriyama comes up with? And if you really want to see Toriyama at his absolute zaniest, read Dr. Slump or watch the anime. You got 8-year-old kids smoking cigarettes and shit, making sex jokes. Like it's insane. You've got some really weird looking stereotypes, stuff like jokes that would be inappropriate to some, but it's the 80s, so they didn't care.
It's of the time. Like I think that's one. Yeah, and I think that's one thing some people are. I understand when they're looking through their lens of now, but it's like, guys, not everything was created now. Like things were created through time. So regardless if you agree or disagree, isn't the point? It's seeing where things were, how things were viewed. Like so to me, it's never bugged me because it's like, I'm aware of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, that's how these things were portrayed at a particular era. So I think also with, the future of Dragon Ball, it's more so of like, I'm really curious to see if there's anything that they're going to pull from AF, considering
Toyotaro.
Toritaro.
Yeah,
So
Toyotaro, that's shit.
And I'm like, I wonder if there's anything that he may utilize and build off the lore that was created with Daima and, anybody and everything else that Toriyama created. If he's going to say, you know what, let me redo some things in AF that align more with, the current stuff that we're now getting in Daima, could be really interesting. So, I mean, I think a lot of people probably aren't aware that Toritaro did AF. So
yeah,
I mean, that's what put him on Toriyama's radar, which was kind of crazy to think about.
Toyble.
Yeah,
he was Toyble back then.
Yeah.
Shueisha hired him to do the Resurrection F promo manga.
Yeah.
And then that led to him doing the super manga.
It's so crazy. I'm like, that's such an interesting, like,
from fan fiction to actually working with the man.
That's rare, by the way. Like, that is such a rarity, but it also shows to like this man's ability to really capture and get respect from the creator of the IP. Like, that's a very different thing. Like,
but
sometimes
is he a visionary like Toriyama? That's what I'm worried about. I don't think he is.
And that's the thing where it's like, all right, what has he learned that we are just fully unaware of behind the scenes? You know what I mean? Like, what are the skills or the planning, the world building, the storytelling that we just aren't aware of his ability yet? You know what I'm saying? Like,
brother,
because he may have learned so much.
He said the Acolyte was good. That scares me. That's we might be fucked, bro.
I haven't actually seen it, but I haven't heard great things.
It's just not well written, bro. And you know me, like when I talk about these things, the problem with Star Wars is that everything on YouTube is a fucking culture war, and I hate it so much. When I talk about these things, I look at it objectively. I don't give a fuck what they're pandering to. Is the story good? And that show had a messy ass story, but Toyotaro liked it, so I don't know. Super chat here from Super Saiyan Rick. Are you the same one from Twitter? Let me know. He says, I just wanted to show some love. I bought myself the Super Mario 3 Kid Goku collab hoodie yesterday. I can't wait to get it. Much love, family. Thank you so much for purchasing that. I got the hat right now with the Goku, Broly, Vegeta. If you want to get one of these, we have hats, we have shirts, we have. Oh, you got your shit. All right.
I didn't know that's what that was. I can't see it. My screen's too far. So I was like, oh, I have people on my shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you said that.
Fire.
So I can show the people. Yeah. So it's Goku UI, Vegeta UE, and Broly Legendary or whatever, like full power. Their biggest forms. Yeah, you can get it on a shirt, hoodie, a mouse pad if you want. That's a badass mouse pad on the Geek the 101 store. So thank you for that. All right. Sean says, Toei, we have 20 ep Tori drag half the show. Yeah, okay. I know what he's saying. Do you feel the pacing was a little bit wonky? Because this is a 20 episode show.
Yeah.
And we got 12 episodes left. Do you think that maybe they wasted too much time? Your opinion?
I don't think so. I think
really
for me, I don't think so. The reason why I don't think so is we haven't been into the demon realm before. So in my head, I'm like, all right, give us, I'm okay. Like how many episodes? We're 8 episodes in. So establishing where we are, who's there, what these characters are, their personalities, trying to build they're a group together. You kind of need a little bit of introduction with some of the characters in terms of each episode, who they're introducing. I'm not really stressed about it. Like, I think, could it be a little tighter? Sure. Like, I think in hindsight, we can always say, okay, maybe this 10-second here, a minute here could have been pulled out for sure. Things probably could have been a little bit more concise. But considering the fact that, again, we're getting brand new stuff, I'm not really upset. And it'd be different if the quality was ass. If the quality was like early Dragon Ball Super, I would then have an issue. If it was a rehash of a movie, I would have an issue.
That's true.
But I'm getting new stuff, and it's not like I'm seeing an episode and I'm like, nothing happened in this episode. Something happened in each episode. Now, if you feel like it could have been faster, cool.
Yeah, the thing with the bull and Goku and the lightning and shit, that I think that could have been sped up a little bit.
I thought yeah, for sure. And I think, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think things could have been tighter, but considering 8 episodes in and we're already at one of the big fights that we're supposed to get in terms of the protectors of the Dragon Balls, and that got kind of announced in episode 2 or something like that.
Episode 1.
So they talked about the Tamagami. Yeah, so they talked about it in the first episode, and 7 episodes later, we're already fighting one of the main guys that they talked about in the first episode. So I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm a little older.
You know what I think, bro? I think what it is a lot of people probably think that 20 episodes. When you compare 20 episodes to the pacing of Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z was very slow paced, and all the big fights were like 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes. Daima's not going to give us like an 8 episode battle. As much as I would like to see that, it's not happening. But there is a lot left. I mean, again, I'm not going to go into leaks. I don't want to talk about that, but we still have the new Majin Buu. I want to talk to you about that in a minute. We've got whatever Goma's going to do. We've got the Arinsu storyline. We got 2 more Tamagamis. We've got to go see the Glins. There's still a lot left. Yeah. You know, and that's why I think people are concerned. The only thing that I think will make it okay is if the last episode, like the first episode, is longer, because episode 1 of Daima was 32 minutes. It was 10 minutes longer than the average anime episode. So if the finale is like 35 minutes, then that's going to be fine, because that will be enough time to give us a good fight.
Right. Now, question. So my next question is this. Has it been confirmed that the entirety of Daima is within these 20 episodes?
Well, that we know of, because they might have, that we know of. I can't read the future, because there's always a possibility that they come back with like another batch of episodes, like, hey, we're going to go back to the demon realm, like, you know, some time passes. But I know that this story, Goku being a kid again, that's going to wrap up by episode 20. But again, that might not be the end of the demon realm.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, ultimately, it really comes down to what the next like 4 episodes are looking like.
I agree.
Because right now we've seen Arinsu with what's her name? Marba?
Marba or Marval, same thing.
So that whole story thread of creating a new Buu, cool, got that. That's really the only new situation, correct? Like in terms of like what Arinsu's focus
we found out that there's more that hasn't been revealed yet, but we now know that she has her own,
right,
you know,
right. So in my head, I'm like, all right, so if we know that, it's like, all right, what has been taking place in terms of them trying to find, you know, this third eye situation, or what?
Nothing that hasn't advanced yet.
Right. So in my head, I'm like, all right, how much time is needed for this?
They could do a lot of it off screen too. You know what I mean? Like,
and this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how they're planning on telling the story.
Same. We have to see that when the series ends, we can look back and see if they wasted time.
The dots always connect after the fact, you know, looking backwards. So it's like we can assume and say, hey, it's the pacing's off, and it may be, but to me, it doesn't feel slow to me. But yeah.
I mean, the thing is, too, I think people need to disconnect Super from Daima, not because it's 2 different continuities. That's not what it is, although some think it is. Super and Daima are very different shows. Super was like capitalizing on the success of Resurrection F and Battle of Gods, and you had those arcs, Universe 6, Future Trunks, Tournament of Power, and then the manga would keep going with Moro and all that. Daima is one story. Again, they might come back with more later. I don't know yet. But Daima is like basically sort of like the Acolyte, or like the Mandalorian. Let's use that as an example, where it's like one story. And I actually, to be honest with you, bro, if they drop like every couple of years or every year a new 20-episode Dragon Ball show, not necessarily Super, but like a 20-episode Dragon Ball show about Jiren or whatever, just little like sort of shows in the universe, I'd be perfectly fine with that if it's got this kind of production. You know what I'm saying?
And I've been saying this for a while, that the weekly anime drop, it doesn't work anymore. Like,
no, I think we're past that now. I agree with you.
It doesn't work,
especially
because
with the staff.
It's the staff, and then you have the quality expectation, right? Back in the day where it was primarily aired on TV and they can get ad dollars by running an episode that's filler, that isn't really crazy, the production isn't crazy, but they can still get ad dollars from running the episode to fund future stuff of the show. That just doesn't work now. Everything is not everything. The primary viewer base is online. So if people are expecting everything to be S tier every week, you're not making enough money to produce it like that. So when you see new shows being, or not new shows coming back and continuing, like Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War, the quality of that, even though they're dropping 12 episodes at a time every year, the quality is high. Daima is a perfect example of how high the quality is of 20 episode run. And seeing that, I'm like, I'll be perfectly fine if Super came back 2 years from now. Say, hey, Super is coming back this year. It's 20 episodes. And then after that, the next season will drop.
For the moral arc, 20 episodes for Granola. I'd be fine with that. I'm
so okay with that. As long as the quality is there, people's attention spans, people are talking about the pacing is off, right? The attention span is this short. So you have to be able to deliver high quality at a pacing that people are okay with viewing it at, right? If it feels like it's dragging and the quality isn't there, people are going to be upset. So it's like, you have to cater to the audience, right? So regardless if I feel it's not slow, people feel that it's slow. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I asked you, man. Yeah, the Daima's just produced different than Super completely. It's like a different product, but in a good way. But also when I watch it, I'm like, fuck, man, why couldn't Super have been like this? You know what I mean? It's like, damn,
facts.
man, like
facts.
Let me get this next. Let me get this next super chat. We got a few of them here. Okay, Hugo says, I love how he went SS2 to beat the Tamagami. Made a lot of sense to me considering Dabura couldn't get the job done. Well, yeah, Dabura without that third eye would have got beat by the Tamagami. Goku, in the Majin Buu saga, Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, when Gohan was fighting him, would have smoked Dabura. Because if you go back and read the manga, Vegeta's like, what happened to Gohan? This guy like fucking sucks now. I'm paraphrasing. He didn't actually say that. And because Vegeta and Goku had already surpassed him at that point. So if Vegeta had fought Dabura, barring, him getting spitted on, he would have fucking smoked his ass. So, and you have to remember, Goku and Daima, it's been months since the Buu saga, so he's been training with Vegeta. Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Daima is stronger than Super Saiyan 2 Goku in the Buu saga, even though he's a kid. So I think it makes sense. Kiryu says, hold on. It's someone who writes, as someone who writes a lot, I got bad eyesight, bro. The fact Toriyama was to pull as much on top of his head in just a week is fucking amazing. Yes, and it's actually less than a week. If you go back and look at what Toriyama's interviews were like when he was writing the manga, he would dick around for half the week. Like his deadline would be like on a Saturday, and he wouldn't write the shit till like Thursday and Friday. So that's the other thing about him, bro, is that it wasn't like some of these guys like Oda who like will sit there and dedicate certain number of hours to writing one piece. Toriyama would just wait till the very end. Oh shit, and get it. That's the thing about Toriyama that blows my mind. If you ever see any of the videos of him drawing Goku, this man is incredibly fast when he draws. He's a prodigy. Blah, 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 blah. So he can get a whole page done in probably maybe 15 minutes, bro. Like for real, maybe less than that. So there's not a lot of manga guys like that. Even the great ones aren't really like that. Gabby says, even though I hate to think about it, but losing Nozawa might hit me more than Toriyama passing because I'm really connected to her beautiful voice. Yeah, that's going to be a hard one. And what's hard is we've already lost. So the original 3 voices in Dragon Ball, Joji Yanami was the animator, the narrator, excuse me. Hiromi Sudo is Bulma, and Goku's Nozawa. These are the first 3 people we meet. We meet Goku and Bulma and the narrator. 2 of them are gone. Kikuchi's gone. Toriyama's gone. It sucks because the people who made the old show, what I think was the peak. I mean, look, I like Daima and Super. It ain't touching the old shit. I'm sorry. It's just Dragon Ball and Z is just.
It's. I mean, there's one of those things that. No, I agree with you though. Like it's one of those things of everything is of the time, right? Like it's like when you see artists that will remake their music now. Like they re-record their album.
I think Taylor Swift is doing that, right? Because like some shit with like the record company owns the old masters. Yeah.
So when they're redoing it and they're like, okay, we'll reproduce it. It sounds too clean. It's like, oh, this actually doesn't sound of the time. Like there's a taste of the era in terms of sound, in terms of artistry. So when you remove it and you put it into a new space, sometimes it feels dated, even though it's new. It's weird. It's like looking back at things in like the Buu saga, just fight wise. Like Buu saga to me isn't my favorite arc in Dragon Ball.
Me neither. But I like it more now than I did when I was younger.
For sure. But looking at like that, because I think a lot of people go towards that in terms of like Dragon Ball's peak in animation for certain fight scenes. People are like, oh, and to me, I disagree, but I think
that's
people
not my peak.
Mine either. But I think people look at those fights of like, oh, this is the peak. And then they look at Dragon Ball Super and like, what happened? And I'm like, it looks too clean. It doesn't look like how it used to look.
What you're talking about is the fact that anime is now done digital, whereas old anime was done on film. We've talked about this before.
Exactly.
2 weeks ago, I did the podcast. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out, y'all, with Seed of Might. And we talked about in detail how old anime looks different because it was shot on film and not digital. Film will always look prettier.
Yeah. And then also like line work and things like that. If things are done in a computer, like you don't have like
a Flash cartoon.
Yeah. You don't have like the raw of a pencil stroke. You don't have the non-symmetrical. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can draw half of something and it will fill in the other half. Like there's things that you can do in a computer that you just can't do on paper. So I think in that regard, like there's a ton of different things that I think contribute to that. But yeah, man, I'm in love with Daima. I'm in love of visually how it looks. And if Super ever comes back with this level of quality, it's going to be an awesome time.
I wanted to actually give an example of what you're talking about. This is Dragon Ball Z episode 30. So when you look at, this is old school Z. When you look at Z, this is, just so everybody knows, this is Seed of Might upscale, 1080p AI upscale. And when you look at this, you see this, there's grain. Now, I think younger people that only grew up on digital anime don't understand that film grain is actually good because it looks more real. And so if you look at the line work on Vegeta's chin, this is what you were talking about. Or just let's go to a little bit like just this shot of Goku right here. Like you could, when you have it upscaled properly in 1080p, this image, you could pause it and take a fucking notepad and draw it, and that shit looks badass. Any of these frames, pick a frame, they all look amazing when it's done right. You know what I mean?
But look how thin the line work is. How thin the line work is. Like now the lines are so much thicker. And I think that also adds to the aesthetic. It's a different aesthetic.
I'll give you another example. We're looking at, so now right there, we were looking at Dragon Ball Z, the anime, which is 16 millimeter film. Now I'm going to pop in. This is a Dragon Ball Z movie. This is Dragon Ball Z movie 1. Let me hold on. So this is going to be even more detailed because this is shot on 35 millimeter film. So it's a sharper image. Like, look at the line work there. Like you can see the pencil, bro. You can see good. You could think about the fucking pencil. Yeah. And it's
the imperfection. It's the imperfection that makes it look real. It's not clean. Like, I think that's the thing that people think HD means smooth. It doesn't. It just means It's just resolved better. So I think in that regard, like looking at like the strokes, they don't look like it's passed through and cleaned and smoothed out. It looks so raw. It's so good.
Look at this shot of Garlic Jr. with the veins all over his face.
It looks fire, bro.
Here's the thing about these new remasters of the movies. I have watched this movie a fuck ton of times when I was a kid on VHS and DVD. But when you watch it with the Toei 1080p remaster from the 35 millimeter film, I never noticed all these fucking details, bro. The veins, you don't see it. Look at his eyes. Like, okay, he's got red bloodshot eyes. I did not see that shit when I saw it when I was a kid. So when you do a proper upscale, bro, you know what I'm saying? I'm just showing people like how beautiful this art is. And Dragon Ball fans, they all know. We all know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just old school anime, man. Like I want, like, that's not even just anime. Let's look at something else. For example, Disney has been too slowly putting out their animated classics. So I picked up Snow White. Snow White came out in 1939. I see a lot of kids who don't know shit say stuff like, well, that looks pretty good for an old movie. And it's like, no, you're not getting it. No. Old shit looks good if it's done well. So when you look at Snow White, it's old as shit. But when you watch it in proper 4K, it's like the line work. It's like, wow, this is like, it was made yesterday. Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing about art. And when you do shit on film, it's timeless. And because somebody in the chat earlier was asking if they thought that Dragon Ball was going to be timeless. And I'm like, it already is timeless, bro. Yeah. Like it's done.
I mean, if you're looking at it from a perspective of like people, I knew some of my in film, we have a couple of guys on our team at Ismahawk that weren't anime fans, but they're in film, but they're like 2021 work like cam op, or they're doing like lighting and stuff like that. Anyways, they got introduced to Dragon Ball through Fortnite.
That's weird.
And then they were like, weird. So then they started watching some of the show and like, oh, this is sick. For you to have a 20-year gap, you know what I'm saying, to then see the series and be like, yo, this is fire. It kind of gives you an example of like how timeless the series actually is.
Yeah. And what I mean
say that about a lot of series.
No. And somebody was asking in the chat, what do you mean by timeless? Basically, you could watch Dragon Ball in the next 200 years and it'll still be a good show. In fact, I remember one of the early interactions that you and I had. This is going back 3 years ago. I don't know if you remember this. This is like absolutely geeked era when you were doing that shit. There was a motherfucker in your chat, bro, who said Dragon Ball has no story. And, bro, my eyes turn red, bro. The minute I hear somebody say that shit, I'm like Jaws smelling blood, bro, because you got to be a fucking moron to say some shit like that, dude. Do you remember that? Yeah, that was a long time ago.
You know what's crazy to me? And I think a lot of it has to do with, again, how many generations of people Dragon Ball has affected. So if you're looking at it from a perspective of, oh, well, nobody dies, everybody lives. It's like, right. You're seeing that because you're watching Super. You're seeing that because you see characters and blah. Like when we started watching this stuff, we didn't know people were going to get revived. We didn't know people were going to live. We had no idea.
And drama.
I was like, so yeah, it looks like that now. You know what I'm saying? But if you're watching this, if you've never heard of Dragon Ball and you started watching from Dragon Ball, and you see, like, when you first find out that Krillin dies at the tournament, like, you're like, hold on, what? Like, what just happened? Like,
and then he dies again later.
And he dies
multiple times.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so in terms of that type of stuff, like, people, I think again, you're seeing an end result, and you're like, oh, well, there's no stakes. There's no this. It's like, you're seeing it at the end. Of course, to you, it doesn't seem like that.
And that's why I think it's important. And I don't know what they're going to do about this now that Toriyama's gone. They need to go past the end of Z because then we can have stakes again. Because, dude, back in the day, right, there was one set of Dragon Balls, the Earth Dragon Balls, for a long time. Yeah. And then the Namek Dragon Balls got introduced.
Yeah.
Now you have Whis, who can bring people back to life with his staff. Now there's really no stake. I can't even disagree with them. When Goku made best friends with Whis and Zeno, What? You know what I mean? Like the stakes are over. We need like he's friends with the strongest characters.
Yeah, no, I think that's the thing too. I agree with you. I think we have to get outside of Z completely so we can really start saying, okay. And I think, to be honest, I think that would probably be the smartest thing for them to do with Toritaro is to say, look,
I agree.
Let's start fresh from after this so we can have a clean slate and let it be like a different era of Dragon Ball. Like, all right, cool. These are the stories that were.
People are going to compare it to GT though. Oh, well, GT did it without Toriyama.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, I feel like they're doing it right now with Daima. People are like, oh, it's just GT. It's just a remix GT. And I'm like, that is the most simplification of something. You know what I'm saying? It's like
we haven't even got to the real GT shit yet.
If that's the case, any anime is a remix of another one. Like if we're gonna say that, like it's hilarious how it's like, oh well, because they're kids, it's GT.
Oh, there's more GT shit coming. Let me tell you, there's more. But people are gonna like it. But bro, same shit with Broly. Dragon Ball Super Broly. Was Toriyama taking a Koyama character and rewriting it and doing a good job. What I'm worried about is, even though, again, I will acknowledge Toriyama now was not the same as young Toriyama, but I still trust him more than Toyotaro. Just being honest. I'm not hating on Toyotaro. It's just that I trust him more. Let me get this quick super chat because this one. This is a weird question. We have 12 left to fight Goma, 2 Tamagamis, Boo, Third Eye, main villain. Well, I'm not going to go into. I know what some of this stuff, but I'm not going to go into it. And then return to normal, but somehow it's not going to be rushed. Come on, don't lie. First of all, I've never lied about that. Second of all, multiple times I've said, you must be new, buddy. I've said that He's
probably talking about me because I'm not worried about it. He's probably talking about me.
Right. What I was going to say was I am a little worried that the last 5 episodes are going to be rushed. I hope not, because there is a lot to get through. I hope not. I hope not. That's all we can do is hope not. All right. And then Robert says, I hope Toa shows up and throws Goma into a wood chipper. Well, Toma is Arinsu, bro, so you're getting that version. Thomas Jefferson says, so far Daima is giving me Andor vibes. Oh, it's not that boring. Starts super slow, but picks up after episode 3. Be tied up in a perfect bow in the end and paid off, hopefully. I have not seen anything past episode 2 of Andor. I'm sorry, I never got that far. I hope you're right, because people praise that one. And then Akil Kumar Singh, please forgive me for butchering your name. He says, weirdly, this contradicts on that Boo was primordial evil that Bibbidi found. We've had 3 stories on Boo's origin. Your thoughts, Adonis? Okay, I was going to ask you about this on the stream. So in this last episode of Super, they revealed that Marba was the original creator of Majin Buu. This is the 3rd time that they've changed the origin of Buu. In the original manga, it was stated that Babidi's father, Bibbidi, created Majin Buu with magic. Then in 2014, in the 2014 Psycho Jump Twin Buu interview, Toriyama said, no, that's not true. Bibbidi conjured Majin Buu because he's existed since time immemorial. And now this is the 3rd change where now Marba created Majin Buu. So the retcons can get a little annoying. This one I don't think is the worst one. What do you think about the various origins of Majin Buu and the constant changes that we've gotten about it? And then we're going to get to Gohan when I get through with these super chats.
Look, I think from one perspective, it's annoying, right? Because you think you know something about a character, right? From the other standpoint, I don't know what he's trying to paint story-wise. So if at that time that's what he wanted to say, cool. But now I'm like, all right, again, dots connect backwards. So if he's trying to set up Marva for saying, actually, Bibbidi has the credit, but I'm basically she was one that really did it, but she don't want nobody to know that's who actually did it. So she's just kind of in the cut. What's the reasoning for it? So if the reasoning is valid, if there's a reason why she's trying to stay hidden about it, to me, I think the retcon will be more digestible.
What do you think about the Glins and all this fucking shit about they're genderless and all that? Like Toriyama, I'm not saying it's bad, but Toriyama has added a lot of shit and changed what he originally said a few times. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that too.
I think it's cool that we're getting more in terms of what these characters, like where Supreme Kai comes from. Like, all right, cool. You're of this. People with pointy ears are Majin. You're from this world. Okay, cool. Again, let's see what the story says, and then I can then give my opinion. So in terms of what we've heard so far, and they're coming from like a tree, like, you know what I'm saying? They're made from a tree, and okay. And there's only so many that are born at a time. Like it's not just a, hey, let's have sex and have tons of babies. So they're kind of if you're going off of that, they're kind of a rare species. If we're going off of we're related because we came from the same tree, but there's only a certain amount of us that are born in a period. So it could be dope. I think I just need to see all of Daima before I give my full opinion, because we're kind of still in the middle of the story. And I'm like, is there going to be a payoff to why this was retconned? If there isn't, then it's just kind of like, okay, they just retconned it because they wanted to retcon it. But if it makes sense, then I'm like, okay, I might feel a little bit different about it.
Mr. Fusion has talked about this. It's related to what you said, that sometimes Daima feels like Toriyama is just throwing in like tidbits for Daizenshu, like guidebooks or Geekdom 101 videos. Like, did you know this? Did you know that? Like, like lore shit. I like it, but sometimes it's not that necessary, even though I do like it. It's a case-by-case thing, man. Like, the thing about Dragon Ball plot holes, retcons, changes, is everyone's going to have a different opinion. The reality is, and this is the big sort of elephant in the room for those who don't understand Dragon Ball, and I'm not saying the chat doesn't. Some of you will get this, and if you don't get it, you will in just a moment. When Toriyama revealed that Goku was an alien, that he was a Saiyan, and that was not at the beginning of the series, because the beginning of the series was Pilaf. That was the 7th arc of Dragon Ball when you find out that Goku's an alien. That retcon is one of the greatest retcons in the history of fiction. I put it right up there with Darth Vader being Luke's father, because in the original script for Star Wars, Darth Vader was not Anakin Skywalker. But Toriyama never intended for Goku to be an alien, and then the Saiyan arc came along, and then bam, here we go. That changed everything, because after that moment, all of Dragon Ball became the Saiyans. Tenshinhan, Yamcha, Krillin all took a back seat. It became Goku, Vegeta, Gohan. Then we had Trunks. Then we had Kid Trunks, Goten. It was all about the Saiyans. And so that one reveal that Goku's an alien led to Frieza. So like that one retcon was so powerful that if you say it's the greatest retcon of all time, I can't even
but again, it's one of those things where at that time people could have been upset about it, right? But the dots connect backwards. So when you see the Frieza saga happen, you're like, that retcon was fire. Like it's like you need to see where it goes to see if the retcon is valid. And I think that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes we are like, why are they doing this? Because in my head, when Daima started, I was like, all right, if they intend after, let's say, the Dragon Ball Super manga where we have Black Frieza, right? Let's say hypothetically, Daima is supposed to set foundation for what happens after. Like, what are they, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there something after we see Black Frieza that we need this lore dump in Daima for it to make sense? I don't know.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so I have no idea. But in my head, it's like, that could be really dope if there's something to do with the demon realm in the future that we don't know yet, but we needed this now for that later. And again, we won't know that. Unfortunately, we're not in the writer's room. We don't know that.
And not just that, but Toriyama's passing may have changed all that, because there's a lot of mysteries about this. I've seen people comment on it. I mean, you have too, I'm sure, that maybe he had notes left behind. One of the things I've talked about, although I don't remember if I talked about it on here, I spoke to a person at Viz Media who's very high up in Viz, very high up executive, who's a friend of mine, and she told me that she told me that apparently they knew Toriyama was sick for a while, and that they sort of anticipated he may pass. I don't know how true that is. Obviously probably something she heard from the Japanese office. So if that's the case, then you would think they would have already had something else planned. However, the fact that we haven't had a new chapter since March, look, man, if they don't announce the manga coming back at Jump Festa, bro, just fucking cancel the shit, because it's been 9 months already, dude, and we've gotten nothing. And again, people say let Taro cook. Maybe he is cooking, but he hasn't told us that. Yeah. All he has to say is, I'm working on continuing Dragon Ball. That's it. He hasn't said it yet. However, he did say in the interview with Victory Uchida that he is going to continue, and he said that and his name is now in Dragon Ball Legends and in Dokkan. So it seems like either he's going to be the lead creative or one of the lead creatives, but they don't communicate this shit enough. They should be telling us, like, this is what's going on. This is when you're going to get it. You're like, basically just do like what Kevin Feige does. 2025, you get the manga. 2026, you get a movie.
Not the slate. That's crazy. Hey,
why can't they do that? They never do that shit.
You know what's crazy though? You know what's funny is,
I know how good that would be for us.
Japanese anime companies are hilarious. Like, because you have, and this is like a perfect example. We don't know what the fuck is going on, right? But then when a movie comes out, the trailer spoils you completely. It's like you get every spoiler completely in a trailer of a series, a new movie.
Sometimes,
but beforehand, you don't know what the hell is going on. It's super funny to me.
Or in the title of the episode.
Yeah, like, exactly.
A famous one is the episode where Yamcha dies. In Japan, it's called Yamcha Dies.
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay. I wonder what happens in this episode.
It is what it is. Gaming Hub UK, what are your thoughts on how Glorio got into the Demon Palace? Was it Arinsu, or was he already working there, found his way there, has a bigger role? I think it was Arinsu. What do you agree?
Facts.
Robert Wolf says oh shit, that's a leak. That's a leak. Sorry. I hope y'all didn't see that.
So I'm cool.
No, it's not a Count Dooku reference. He's talking about the new Majin being a Count Dooku reference. That's not what it is. Although I see why you would say that. You're pretty funny, Robert. When you're not bashing Daima, you're a pretty funny guy. RJ says, I agree with you. DB, Daima, and Super are great, but the original Dragon Ball Z and DB will always be at top tier anime, and DBZ will always be the best anime ever to me. Well, I actually think original Dragon Ball is a more consistent anime.
I agree.
I always put them together though, because the manga was just Dragon Ball.
Correct.
And I really don't like when people split them. Yeah. And I hate, what pisses me off is this is not a situation where it's just the fandom's fault. I think a lot of people blame the fandom. It's also the companies, because when they fucking put out like games, it's like, hold
on real quick. I don't know why my headphones just freaked out.
Oh, all right.
Go ahead.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. No, what I was saying is they always start with the Saiyan Saga, and I hate it. When I first revealed, and it was me who did it, that Daima was before Super, I saw a bunch of people say, Geekdom 101's reporting this, so you have to go Saiyan Saga, Namek Saga, or Saiyan Saga, Frieza Saga, Cell Saga, Buu Saga, Daima, then Super. And I'm like, where the fuck is Pilaf, Red Ribbon, and Piccolo? Like, what the fuck? It's like nobody ever, like, fuck, bro. Like, and I tell people you have to watch the original Dragon Ball to get full context.
Yeah, it's so funny because people grew up watching Dragon Ball Z first. The majority of people in the West saw Dragon Ball Z first. And then I think they look back at Dragon Ball and like, oh, well, he doesn't have these kind of powers. So I think I'll just stay. I really think that's the logic. I think that's the logic, though.
I think for some of them, I agree. I agree. But Dragon Ball has some of the best shit.
Yeah.
Old Dragon Ball had Masaki Sato too. Yes, he's a phenomenal animator. Holy shit, I love that guy. Thank you for that. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. ITG. He says they should create a being that's half Saiyan, half Majin. Now, Glorio just needs to steal Goku's hair. That'd basically be Zykor from Dragon Ball AF. Well, like Adonis said, bro, we might get some AF shit for real now. Like that is a possibility. Robert Wolf says, I just really hope Saiyans aren't demons. Me too. I know there's a rumor about like not a rumor, but Jordan thinks that like the great apes were from there. But okay, let me ask you, bro. I'm a little tired of everybody being from the demon realm, and I don't think everybody literally is. Namekians and Glins, okay. Saiyans, that one's a little iffy for me. Do you think that they're relying too much on everybody being from the demon realm?
I don't know. I think a lot of times fans, and I've said this before, is you have their speculation becoming expectation of things. And it's sometimes
that can fuck with you,
bro. And it's like you can end up not liking something because your speculation is now an expectation. And it's like that's not
Strange
even
too.
And it's like that's not even what anybody was. That's not what the writers were intending. But now you're upset that your thoughts on what should happen didn't happen. So for me, I don't see it making sense. The only thing I can think of is like, all right, they have like the great apes is actually the form that they're actually in, and they digress into like a humanoid form.
That's what Jordan said. They evolved into their humanoid form.
So I mean, cool, but like, I would prefer it not to be that.
Me too.
So, but I agree with
I
you.
Wouldn't
I think
hate it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't hate it, but I wouldn't be a fan of it. It's like,
yeah.
All right, we got a couple more there, and then we're gonna get to Gohan. We need more of Adonis, dope reactor. Bring him more. Okay.
All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yes. Always. Yeah. I mean, it's a pleasure, bro. You're very good on camera, is what it is. I think a lot of people, and it's not their fault. A lot of people are a little nervous, maybe a little, it's fine. You're just good at it. So N Simmons says, I think the perfect way to tie in Daima to Super is after Oob and Goku leave the tournament, they re-meet with the demons being that wants Oob. So maybe. I always thought they could go back to the demon realm later on with Goku being an adult. They could do that. It doesn't have to be with Oob, but I wouldn't be against that idea because the demon realm is so interesting that you could do more with it besides just what we got, So let me, first of all, bring this up here. I want to give a big shout out to Griffin Station. Phenomenal artist, drew this thumbnail for this stream. The reason why we went with Ultimate Gohan is because, remember, he's being turned into a kid again, but he's still got his Ultimate Gohan powers. Now, obviously, this is meant to be the father-son Kamehameha, except that I was thinking about this in my head. I was like, wouldn't it be something if they do the father-son Kamehameha, but they're both kids? And it's so weird, right? And here's where it gets extra wacky. If this actually happens, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But if something like this were to happen, that means that Stephanie Nadolny would be voicing both Gohan and Goku in the same scene. Wouldn't that be weird? We never see Kid Goku with Kid Gohan, bro, because they're different ages.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough
one. I love this art, though. I love.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. That's fun. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. That's a weird one.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's talk about Gohan. So I really want, obviously, y'all in the chat, if you want to submit super chats, just talk about Gohan. That's the main event topic. So here's where I want to start this discussion with you, bro. Gohan is not in any of the promotional materials, no trailers, no he's not in the intro. And I'm gonna say this, and I have to be very careful with what I say here. The things about Daima that have been shown to me, I have not seen Gohan. So there is a possibility that Gohan's just not in Daima. That is a possibility.
Yeah.
However, what's weird is Gohan was mentioned in episode 1 by Goku when he said, him and Videl, when he said that that he's busy studying or whatever. So I'm going to start a poll right now, and then I'm going to get your thoughts here. Do you now? Here's the poll question. All right. Here's the question. Do you think Gohan is in Dragon Ball Daima? Now, When y'all vote for this, listen to me very carefully. I do not want you to vote if you want to see Gohan. This is not about what you want. This is a prediction based on everything we have seen. Is Gohan just going to sit this one out, or do they have plans for him later on? Because they could be saving him for the end because they know he's a fan favorite character because the fucking last movie was his movie, right?
Right.
So what do you think, bro? What the fuck is up with Gohan? What do you think?
I don't think he's in it. I don't think he's in it at all.
You not even a cameo?
And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Yeah.
I'm okay with it because he starred in the last movie.
Yeah. I mean, my thing is obviously when it takes place. So if we go back to Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, right? When we saw that, or Resurrection F, like Gohan, where was Gohan? What was Gohan doing? Who was Gohan at that?
He was not training, that's for sure.
He was
knocking up Vidal's what he was doing. Good for him.
See it? So in this regard, we're looking at it from perspective of if this is in the timeline that we already have, and it's before Battle of Gods and it's after Boo, it tells you right there, my man's not in this. And I don't think he's in it at all. I think he's off doing his thing. And Gohan's character, I think this is why people love Gohan so much, is because he's the reluctant hero. He's the character that everybody wants to be like Goku, but he's not Goku.
But I like the fact that he's not Goku.
And this is why he's like, look, he's never wanted to fight, but he could fight. He never was trying to be strong, but he's strong. He wanted to be a scholar. He wanted to go to school. Like, he didn't want to be a fighter. Since day dot, my man was scared of fighting. Piccolo was trying to train him. The whole Nappa situation, he was terrified. Like, Gohan is not built that way. He's not built that way. But if pushed to a particular point, he'll lose his shit and it's up. You know what I'm saying? Then it's up. It's like, okay, damn, okay. So I think in that regard, Gohan is like this unicorn that we get when we need Gohan. You know what I'm saying? He's like, okay, yeah, is the scaling strange to the series? Sure. You know what I'm saying? It's weird with him. He'll pop up out of nowhere, train for a day, and next thing you know, he's like on levels that we never even thought of, right? We're like, okay, this is wild. But going off of, again, the story structure of where it is in the timeline, I don't think he's in this at all.
Yeah, and the thing that concerns me, the reason why there's a high possibility that you're right, is that there are materials that get sent out to people behind the scenes, and I've seen nothing. Now, I haven't seen everything. I need to make this very, very clear. I do not have everything about Daima in my possession. I got shit, but I don't have everything. I haven't seen anything about Gohan. One of my sources, I asked about this, who worked on fucking Daima, and he said he hasn't seen Gohan either. So I genuinely think that there is a possibility that Gohan's not in it. Now, here's kind of the question that to continue this, though. Do you think that this is a good idea? Because let me tell you why. The reality is, and this is a fact, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan from the Cell Saga is an insanely popular character. I think people adore that version of Gohan. And Daima, reverting him back to being a kid again, would be the perfect opportunity to throw in fan service without it, with it still making sense. It's fan servicey for the Gohan fans, right? But it still fits the story of them being kids again, where we get to see Super Saiyan 2 Kid Gohan or Ultimate Kid Gohan for the last time. And that's why I'm thinking, like, okay, they have this opportunity here to show Kid Gohan one more time. One more time. And we're not going to get it. Like, you know where I'm coming from, right? That's fucking weird.
Yeah. The only reason why I think he's not is I think he would be a baby. And the reason why I say that is
he's younger.
He's younger. So Goku and Vegeta are kids. Like, Goku looks like he did in Dragon Ball. You know what I'm saying? So if we're going off of like, I guess, a time scale, Gohan might be a baby. So I don't see
or
it.
At least an infant. Yeah.
Or an infant. So I don't know if he's going to, I don't even know if he would show up if all these heroes that fought Majin Buu are going to be that. Now, in the other side of it, it's like, No, 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 I don't see it. I'm trying to think of it. Is there
No,
another way? And I'm like,
because
nah.
we got 12 episodes left.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. Part of me thinks that they're doing a Chekhov's gun thing where they mention Gohan in episode 1 to come back to him near the end. He's not going to be in the demon realm because he has no way to get there. Once Hybis took them on his ship, there's no way to get there. So it would have to be something else.
So hold on really quick, because some people are saying this. So King J, and I know I see in the chat, said no, adults turn into same age kids. So Gohan is like a very young adult.
Yeah, he's like 18.
Goku, Bulma, Vegeta are around the same age, which is why they look like kids. Like you're talking about like a 20-year gap at least between Gohan and Goku.
A younger kid, yeah.
He would be a very tiny child, like 2 or 3 years old. Like if we're going off of the time that we're talking about them,
right?
Or infant. Yeah. So,
but it's still though, like the people in the chat are right, and this is what I'm trying to get to. If we don't see Gohan as a kid again in Daima, it does feel like a missed opportunity. It's almost like that's fucking Super Saiyan 2 Cell Saga Gohan is so unbelievably popular. They actually have a storyline reason to bring him back one more time, and they don't do it. Like that's the thing that's fucking with me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you know what I'm saying, right? Like it's so easy.
If Goku came back as like the little bit bigger Goku, you know what I'm talking about? Not like early Dragon Ball Goku, but like when you had that little bit of a growth spurt. If there was like this age where he was a little
tournament Goku, yeah.
If he was that Goku, maybe we see a younger Goku.
First grade Goku.
I think Gohan's too young. I think he's too young. I think we'll get like before I think we would probably get
Raditz.
I think we get like Raditz Gohan if Gohan pops up. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he's too young. But I agree with you in terms of it. Of seeing Gohan as a younger kid again would be really cool. I think it'd be actually really cool to see him like that.
It's like easy. It's an easy fan service thing, you know? And they love to do fan service. I mean, fuck, bro. Gohan Beast is literally a repeat of the Cell Saga.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm just like, and I want to say this: if Gohan's not in the show, I don't think it's like, well, they're fucking over the Gohan fans, even though some are going to think that, or they're fucking over Gohan. Like, he just main evented the last movie. Like, he got a nice, and not just that. Earlier this year, he fought UI Goku and actually edged him out. So, like, I don't know, man. Like, he's gotten shine, but like we talked about, it just feels like there's possibly a missed opportunity. Let me get this super chat here. Thank you so much, RPT, for the generous super chat. Would have been funny if the entire Earth, New Namek, King Yama, and his workers were all turned into children. I mean, that's true. They all did give energy to Goku. That's why Goma only got one wish, because it was too strong. I mean, he's not wrong, bro. If you really want to get technical, every human that had his hands up giving Genki to Goku should all be turned into kids.
Yeah.
I made a joke.
Technically.
I made a fucked up joke that only I would make, where I was thinking, wouldn't it be fucked up if Gohan and Videl are together, bro? And, you know, they're about to fucking do their taxes. And right before he puts it in, the wish kicks in.
Hey, yo.
And he's like, what just happened?
Hey,
you know what I mean? Can you imagine how fucked up that would be? I want some like fan animator to draw that. Like,
oh my god,
he starts crying.
That's wild. That's wild.
Bro, I used to tell my friends, I used to be like, the only thing, I wish I was a kid again. The only thing that makes me happy to be an adult is pussy. If it wasn't for that, I want to be a kid again, bro. You know what I'm saying, right? Like, that's the only good thing about being an adult. You get older, you start to fall apart.
Hey, yo, that's funny.
You know?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so I want to actually, this is not a super chat. It says Jutsu makes an excellent point. It wouldn't make any sense for Stellar Gohan to appear, basically creating a plot hole. Well, it's true. For him to appear like that would be finagling it a little bit. But it is weird that there's no Gohan. So do you think, let me ask you a question. Do you think that in the last episode, when they all become adults again, Gohan will show up and be like, hey guys, what's going on? And then they tell him, yeah, we just got back from the demon realm. You know, do you think they'll do something like that at least?
Look, maybe, I mean, because back to your like Chekhov's gun situation, like usually they would have to show it. Mentioning it isn't enough. Like it would be like showing. So if Gohan popped up and then he disappeared, I think would be a different situation. But because he wasn't shown at all,
right?
I think they were just. I think they were trying to get people's expectation of Gohan not being in it out of the way immediately. Where's Gohan? Oh,
you might be right. You might be right. Because bro, they have the Ox King. The Ox King is there, bro. Like you know.
So I think in that regard, I think that's probably what it is. I feel like it's almost like, hey, let's go back to Dragon Ball really quick. Because that's what it feels like. Whoever was in Dragon Ball minus Vegeta, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of who we're focusing on right now. And then obviously with like with Shin and stuff like that. But like we're focusing on like Piccolo, Goku. We obviously see young Bulma. Like I just think it's really cool. It's like we're getting a little throwback of Dragon Ball with some new additives with Vegeta. Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, Vegeta is gonna have something big coming up very soon too, which will lead to me putting out a new shirt. So I'm excited about that. That's coming very. I'm gonna have the first shirt ever with this design, and we'll leave it at that. I have a couple more super chats, but yeah, man, I just feel like Dragon Ball fans are very emotional, and if there's no Gohan, I think they're gonna bitch about it, and I can't entirely blame them. I'm not saying I'm picking on them for being upset there's no Gohan, because it is a weird choice. Not saying I'm not saying he had to go to the demon realm, but just to not show him at all. But like you said, that may be them kind of trying to temper our expectations. But on the other side of the coin, oh, we're not showing him because we're going to show him later and shock everybody. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's definitely look, bro, like there's been other things in Dragon Ball that you have questions about anyway. Like Dragon Ball is one of those things we talked about before. They retcon stuff all the time. Things have changed. Things sometimes don't make any sense. And it is what it is. So could that still happen? Could Gohan pop up as a child? It's definitely a possibility. I just don't think it's going to happen. But
no, I'm with you. I'm 50-50 on it, bro. And right now, let's look at the poll results. So right now, 44% say Gohan is in Daima. 56% say no. Obviously, we're talking about in Daima as in doing something important, not making a cameo in the last episode. I mean, he might make a cameo in the last episode. In fact, I think he will. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a weird thing, but also something else too. I think the reason as to why Gohan is popular outside of Japan is because people, like you said, saw Dragon Ball Z first. And I think to them, when we're kids, we associate the kid character as Gohan, not Goku.
Sure. For sure.
Yeah, and of course, Gohan's relatable because a lot of us have dads that want us to be great, you know, and Goku's pushing Gohan. So I made a video about that. Wow.
And it's like the fear, like, you know, when you're a kid, you're afraid of stuff. Like, so it's like he's overcoming certain things that a kid would overcome. Like, I think it aligned with a lot of us as kids. Ironically, though, I was never really a Gohan fan like that. Like, I was like Goku from day dot. I was like, no, I don't know what it was about Goku, but I was like, he's a GOAT. I don't know what it was. And I liked Gohan. I thought he was fun, but
yeah,
I was always like, where Goku at? Turn up. Like, I was like, where's he at? So yeah.
The thing that's weird about me is, I mean, I like all the characters.
Yeah.
But the reason why my avatar is Frieza is because Frieza is my favorite character in Dragon Ball. This is before like Super Resurrection F. Frieza was always my favorite character because he's a great villain.
Yeah.
He's a complex villain. He's not a one-dimensional villain at all. Like fuck all this fucking super bullshit. Frieza blew up Planet Vegeta, because he was afraid of the Saiyan's limitless power overthrowing him. He did that out of fear.
Yeah.
And I like that because that makes sense.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the old X-Men cartoon when Master Mold says, I will not destroy because I do not fear. And that shit hit hard. So Frieza did that out of fear. Fuck all that beer shit. So I like not because I want to make this clear. I'm not saying I agree with Frieza or relate to him, but I've always found him to be an entertaining villain because when he first shows up, and the dub kind of lost us a little bit. Not the Kai dub, but the Z dub certainly did. He's very polite. When he talks to the Namekians, please hand over the Dragon Balls to us, and we'll kindly leave your village alone. Like, he's very polite, and Toriyama writes him that way with the katakana, and that's why I like him, just the entertainment factor. Hold on, we got like 5 more of these. JD says, I've been thinking about characters missing like Boo Gohan. Well, we saw Boo. We saw Boo in the first episode.
Yeah.
The one way it makes sense is the final battles teleporting them to the Earth like Babidi. Well, that's what I thought, that they were going to have one of the fights be on Earth with Gohan and the other one be in the Demon Realm, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I'm just not sure. I can't say yes or no, but that's something Dragon Ball would do because it's kind of like what they did in GT where Goku and Trunks and them were out in space. Baby makes his way to Earth, wreaks havoc, and then when Goku comes back to Earth, oh shit, everything's fucked. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's gonna stay in the Demon Realm. I think it's gonna stay there. I would hope that it stays there. And I think also because people said before, there's a lot to still do in the Demon Realm. And then if you're talking about
3 worlds.
If you're talking about villains now, it's like, all right, well, we know there's going to be 2 that we're going to have to probably fight. One's probably going to be Goma with the third eye, because that's what he's after. And the other one's probably going to be this Majin Buu character. Now the thing is who's handling who.
And there's more.
And there's more. So now it's like, but this is what I'm saying, though, where it's like, all right, well, who's handling who? They showed this whole, the merge bug, or what is it called?
The fusion bug. Yeah.
So they show that for a reason.
That's the tease. That's another tease. Yeah.
That's a Chekhov's gun. They showed that for a reason.
You think we're gonna get Gloku, bro? Are we gonna get Gloku?
So here's the thing, though. It had 3 people on it fusing into a character. So are we getting like a triple fusion? I don't know. I have no idea.
Can you imagine a Goku Vegeta Piccolo triple fusion? How wacky that would be.
That would be such like a Xenoverse type of character.
Yeah, that's like some like fucking Dragon Ball YouTuber fucking making his own fucking what if and shit.
No, for sure.
Simmons says, I'm torn on Gohan being in the show, but I do think Shin's ship breaking might have been for a reason. It's possible they used that later on. That's a good point. Maybe the ship will work for Gohan. I mean, there's true.
Maybe.
There is something else I wanted to discuss briefly. And I have talked about this a long time ago, but it's been a while. So about 3 months ago, I talked to one of the leakers, one of the Twitter leakers. I'm not going to say who, and he told me that he heard that Gohan's in the final battle. Now I trust this guy. However, in conversations with him, he doesn't have anywhere near the amount of shit that I have, because I've sent him pictures of shit. And he's been like, how the fuck do you have this? And I'm like, you know who the fuck I am, bro? I'm leaked them. I told him that shit. I'm leaked them, bro. But I know I showed him, right? And then, so I'm not sure, like, but he definitely knows something, because I remember, I want to say around August, he's like, I remember he's like, what do you know about this warp? I go, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, there's somebody in Daima named Warp. And I didn't know what it was at the time. Then when I got my hands on some faucet, I was like, okay, Warp. So like he knows some shit, but I don't know if that's true. So there is a possibility, but again, we don't know. Hold on. What's this next one here? He says, bro, still studying. Bet he's not even noticed he's small. I mean, if he's with Videl, he'll notice it, bro. That's something. All right, she's gonna be small too. Carlos says, Ultimate Gohan was stronger than Goku when he fought Kid Buu, and why is he in the intro of Daima standing right next to Goku? But again, we only got 12 episodes remaining, so he might not be in at all. Okay, I know what he's talking about, Adonis. I have to show you. And this is something I think people are looking too much into this, but it is something I wanted to bring up on this stream because we need to bring it up because people have been talking about it. So let me pull this up. Hang on a second.
You're all good.
So there's a theory. I now, for the record, I don't believe this is. I think people are looking too deeply into it. That in the intro, let me get to the part because it's okay. Wait, we went too far. Okay, wait. Hold on. First of all, this part of the intro is raw as fuck. Okay, that was it. Okay, let's go back. Oh fuck, Jaka John. If I'm funny, that song is a hit. All right,
yeah, that song is cool.
People think that Gohan, and this is, I don't know who started this. People think that next to Goku there is where Gohan is supposed to be, right? And they think that it's actually them hiding Gohan cleverly. I want to say for the record, I don't think that's the case, dude.
Hold on, what? Where? Here?
Okay, see how Okay, here's why.
Okay.
Goku's on the right.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody's on the left, but the next two characters. So people think that Gohan's supposed to be there. They're going to reveal it later. I think they're looking too deeply into it. I don't think Gohan is there. What do you think?
No, I just think
anime does that sometimes, though.
Anime does that sometimes. I mean, we also seen during the Tournament of Power where they had Boo and then they flipped that motherfucker out. Like we thought he was going to be on the team and he wasn't on the team. So there's definitely a possibility. If you're looking into it like they did with Spider-Man, right? Where you had the trailer come out and it looked like there was two other people there, found out that there was two other people there. So I can understand from that perspective for sure. And could it be easy for them to take him out of that if it's just layered animation? Sure, definitely, I can see that.
Yes, and that, but I think that's if they might be looking too much into it. I'm not saying that they're wrong, but it's a possibility. Yeah,
the possibility is there. The probability of it happening, I think is lower. I think it's lower. Now, again, I think because I was saying before, they have not so many, but there's a few different threats out there. So there has to be some level of split up with these characters and these threats. So is there a possibility of Gohan popping up? Sure.
But you're saying gun to your head? No.
Gun to my head, I don't think he's in it. I don't think he's in it. But we've been surprised before. So I've been wrong in the past. So I'm perfectly okay with that. So yeah, I don't think he's in though.
As long as it's done well. J Fire 88, Kibito still on Earth with the broken ship. See, this is the Supreme Kai thing. Gohan can show up, fuse with Goku. That would be something. Gohan Miss Potara in Buu Saga. Brother, you gotta learn the space bar. Danny, maybe with Daima no longer streaming more 20 episodes. No, brother, it's 20 episodes. I'm telling you now, but listen, don't take a banana in the tailpipe and don't fucking start coming up with your own shit. Daima was originally supposed to be a web streaming anime only. When Toriyama died, Fuji TV picked it up for television, but it's still Crunchyroll, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, Hulu. It's on all four of those platforms and Netflix. Holy shit.
Yeah, Netflix.
And Netflix. They're a week behind, but I'm telling you, it's 20 episodes. I'm telling you, it is. All right, Shama Henderson. If it wasn't for superhero, we already had a new chapter. I don't think it's superhero, bro. I agree the manga went on for too long. You all right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Joshua says, I feel like it might be a missed opportunity, but at the same time, it makes sense. It is a 20-year gap. He might be too young. Yeah, that's what you were talking about earlier, that it absolutely, yes. It's that's why we're even having this stream, because it's a complex topic. It's not just an easy answer. And then Barney says, I don't understand the time gap argument logic for Gohan. The wish wasn't for them to be 20 years younger. It was for them to be a certain age. Well, remember, the adults become first graders. The kids become smaller kids, toddlers.
Mm-hmm.
Gohan technically is an adult, but he's a young adult. He's 18. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this topic, right now, there is no right or wrong answer because we don't know.
Yeah.
They could legitimately bring in Gohan when he was a kid, like we saw him in Z. And would it make sense? I don't think it's that crazy just to say, okay, he is an adult still, so he becomes a first grader. Not as much of a reversal as Goku and Bulma, but still a reversal. Or like you said, well, maybe he's too young. He's either too old to be a kid or too young to be an adult. He's right in the middle.
Yeah.
He's right in the middle. I mean, the thing that makes me laugh is people say that Gohan in the Cell Saga is teen Gohan thanks to the fucking video games. No, brother. Gohan in the Cell Saga was 11 years old. 11. Gohan in the Buu Saga was 17 at first and then 18. That's teen Gohan, bro. Yeah. Teen Gohan is the one we saw in the Buu arc. So, all right. We're getting more super chats here. We're going to close out after this. Blues Clues 2099. The gag of all gags would be that Gohan is in the last episode since everything is over and it's revealed he was studying so hard he didn't even notice they became a kid. Somebody said that earlier, actually, and that would be a Toriyama gag.
Yeah.
And then Simmons says if they don't use young Roshi, that's a miss. They're probably not going to use him, although I do wish that
was fun. That was funny. That was hilarious.
I agree. They could do a whole show about just that.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not a super chat. Is the second season or a Daima movie possible? I've already discussed the Dragon Ball Super movie rumor. As far as a Daima movie, I haven't heard anything about that. As far as a second season, I know that people who work on Daima want there to be a second season, like, with 20 more episodes. But again, bro, Toriyama passing away may have changed everything. I don't know. Like, that's what I've been pissed about. They need to start telling us what the plan is.
Yeah.
Fuck it. If they don't say it at Jump Festa, bro, I might end up pulling my hair out, bro.
I mean, in my head, it's like I think it's probably a really tricky topic, a tricky like thing to come out of. So I think Japanese are really respectful, and I think even in the manga space, he's like one of the goats. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's one of the goats,
literally.
So
Top three.
Some of your favorite anime, the mangakas are like his, like he's a god to them. You know what I'm saying?
When Oda wrote that letter about him, bro, I was like, damn.
Bro, like, you're talking about, he's a goat. So from that regard, it may not just be an easy, like, all right, cool, let's keep this thing pushing.
This hair right here, bro. This is hair. This is hair, bro. Bro, these motherfuckers think I'm bald or something because I always wear a hat. No, this is hair, bro. I'm not bald. I have a big ass forehead. I've always had a big ass forehead since I was a kid.
Me too. My thing is thinging. So
my dad used to call me cabezón. Yeah, that's hair right there, bro. Is that CGI, bro? Anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, so I think in that regard, I think that there's more of a respect thing of like not really trying to say anything too soon. I think they may just want to kind of give it some space. I think they'll probably have already made decisions on what they want to do. I think it's more so of like, hey, let's just kind of give it a little bit of air. And maybe even waiting a year before they say anything. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, on his anniversary of his passing, they say, hey, we're going to be doing X, Y, and Z, or I wouldn't be surprised if something like that, of them just giving the time, but they've probably already been working on stuff in the back end. So
yeah, it's too much time has passed, man. Too much time. Just even if they're not going to continue, like, just say it. Just say it. Yeah. So we'll see. The time will tell. As far as me growing my hair out, yes, I did grow it out a little bit, but bad news. I'm getting a haircut, and I'll tell you why. I always keep my hair very short, and it's because I live in Florida. And when you live in Florida, bro, and you have a lot of hair, it gets hot. So I can't rock the hair like this man because he's in a much cooler environment than me. Maybe not right now, though. Okay, real quick. This is the last thing. He says, can you explain the difference between SS1 and SS2 Kid Goku in episode? Okay, people really get confused about this.
Yeah.
And I made it and people, Dragon Ball fans don't get it. I made it very, very simple for you, my friend, right here on Twitter. People trying to debate me that I wasn't Super Saiyan 2. Right here, bro. Here's how you can tell. Super Saiyan 1, thick bangs, no sparks. Super Saiyan 2, thinner bangs, white sparks, often has one front bang pointing up. So if you look at these, and this is from Dragon Ball Z, look right there. If you look at Goku's forehead, on our right, his left, one bang is pointing up. And then here's Dragon Ball Super, one bang is pointing up. As long as it stays on model, that is Super Saiyan 2 Goku. So on the right is Super Saiyan 1. On the left is Super Saiyan 2. And don't forget the electricity. It's a smaller white electricity, bro.
Yeah, when I did my reactions out, I put Super Saiyan 2. People were like, that's Super Saiyan. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not Super Saiyan, but okay.
I hate when they argue, bro. Like, dog, it's been my career to study this shit for 10 years, bro. Some fucking kid from Kansas is gonna tell me what Super Saiyan is, bro. So I made it easy right here. If you ever want to share this out, post it on your social. I'm gonna do it. Thick bangs, no sparks. Thinner bangs, white sparks, and has the one bang pointing up. Yeah. All right. This is the last super chat, man. We'll keep getting them because I know you have to go. Joshua says he's right. I was just about to say I feel like it's a respect thing to where they might wait a year just to cherish his legacy of the moment of the pastor of the passing of Toriyama, the passing. Yeah. Well, here's the thing about that, bro. If they announce at Jump Festa that the manga will continue in March, like on the anniversary of his death, or maybe in April, that would make sense. If they don't announce shit at Jump Festa, it doesn't make any sense because Jump Fest is where they announce all the big shit, especially manga. Yeah. So, all right, brother, let them know where to find you. I mean, I already plugged you earlier, the SS Jutsu channel. Hey, what do you got going on before we close out of here?
First of all, appreciate you for having me on, man. It's always dope chatting with you, bro.
I had a good time with you today, bro. I had a good time with you. This is a good stream.
Yeah, man. If you guys want to catch me on the reaction tip, youtube.com/ssjutsu. I'm actually going live after this over on Twitch to do reactions. So if you guys want to check me out over there, you guys
Twitch,
can.
Not YouTube, Twitch.
Yes, I do lives on Twitch, and then I post my VODs over on YouTube. So if you guys want to catch those, you guys can. I appreciate you guys so much, bro, for having your boy on here. I always said Geekdom he's that S tier Dragon Ball creator out here. If you guys really trying to get that content, you in the right spot. Lifelong fan, obviously you can tell. So I always like rocking with you, talking about Dragon Ball stuff. It's always great.
Have I ever rated you before? I don't think so. I'm going to ask that question. I appreciate that though. Okay, here's a quick one. This guy says, please leak more Daima content. Who will fuse? All right. I
can't notice.
I'm not going to reveal who's going to fuse. I'm just going to say this. Listen to what I'm saying. There is a character in Daima that is a horse with boxing gloves. Sounds like bullshit, right? But if you know Toriyama,
but that's so funny, bro.
Listen to me. Listen. Remember this fucking stream, motherfucker. There is a character in Daima that is a horse with boxing gloves. And look, we already have a doubter, bro. We already have a doubter. I'll tell you what, bro. If you doubt me, bro, I expect a written apology.
Hey,
when
bro.
When I'm right again. When I'm right again, bro. I'm sure the Marva shit was just I got lucky, bro. I happened to get her colors right, the way she looks, and her name all right. That was just luck.
Yeah.
It was luck. Anyways, thank you so much, brother. We're getting out of here. Y'all have a good one. Next week, the voice of Piccolo. Check out SS Jutsu on YouTube and Twitch coming up in probably about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, we're out. Have a good